Hello, and welcome to part 2 of our guide to recording for mosaic videos. Now this episode is for those who need to use an external microphone or something to capture a higher quality audio performance. If you're just after using your phone to record, go back and watch part 1 which I posted yesterday. That's all you need to do for that one. But if you are being asked to capture sound in a higher level of definition, then this is the video for you. Now, to begin with, we're going to run through the equipment that you need in order to take part in this project, and do bear in mind that there are all sorts of options that you can choose for this. It depends on what you have available and your level of comfort in terms of using that equipment. After we've done that, we'll look at a piece of software called AUDACITY, which is a free piece of software available to download for both PC and Mac. We'll run through how to capture, edit, and then export that sound, and then finally we'll run through some tips and tricks as to how to then record the filmed element of the performance so that you end up with a seamless and very natural performance. It's worth noting at this point that in isolation in these strange times that the viewing public are considerably more forgiving in terms of what they will accept and what they will enjoy in terms of video quality and to some extent audio quality. It's worth making sure that when you record you have that in mind, as this will greatly reduce your stress levels when it comes to capturing as good a performance as you can in isolation. I think it's important to remember we are all only human. So without further ado, let's talk about the equipment that you're going to need. Now, the equipment you're going to need in order to capture a YouTube video performance in high quality is as follows. You're going to need an external microphone, preferably one that's powered by USB. So this means you'll be able to plug a lead in to the microphone and plug the other end in to whichever device you're using to record. And that will most likely be a laptop of some kind, or a PC or a Mac. These will also work with iPads. And the USB lead will power the microphone and also act as the conduit for the sound. They're very simple. We recommend a condenser microphone, as that will capture a wide range of sound and just make sure that it's balanced nice and evenly and reduce the amount of effort you have to put in when it comes to setting recording levels. You're also going to need, as with yesterday's video, you're going to need a pair of headphones. They don't need to be expensive. Earbuds will do, but it's essential that you capture just your sound without any backing tracks, any click tracks, and also with hopefully a minimum of background noise. And on that, it's worth making sure that wherever you're recording, particularly if you're trying to get a high quality recording, is as quiet as possible. So many people find towards the back of the house or in an upstairs room is a good idea. And also try and record, if you can, in a room with plenty of soft furnishings around, to just deaden the sound so you don't end up with a lot of echo and boom on the recording, as that's quite difficult to remove in the mix. You will also need a device to record the sound. As I said earlier, that will probably be a computer of some kind, or you can use an iPad, and you're going to need something to play back the sound on. And this is where your equipment is going to become a matter of choice as to what you have available. Ideally you would have three things going at once. You'd have the device that's recording the sound, that could be your laptop. You'll have the device that's playing back the sound, that could be an iPad or a tablet or something like that. And you'd have a device to video yourself. Now, if you're not able to do all three at once, that's absolutely fine. Watch till the very end of the video. I've got a method that means you can actually get away with only having 2 devices going at once. Now, once you've got those devices all done, what you need to do is to download AUDACITY, which, as I said, is a free piece of software which is available. It's only a small file, it shouldn't take up much space on your computer. I'll put the link at the bottom of the screen here. Download the software and then start it up. And what we'll do now is we'll go into screen record mode and I'll show you how to capture that sound. Once you've installed AUDACITY and plugged your microphone in, open the app, then select your microphone from this drop-down menu here. Ideally, you'll record in stereo. This refers to where you're hearing the output from, and this will usually refer to your headphones so you can listen back. Once your microphone is connected and selected here, you can then set the recording level. And at this point, it's worth setting it to around 2/3 of the way up, and then press record when you're ready to record a test track, and play or sing at the absolute loudest level that you're likely to need to do during your recording session. So I'm going to press record here and make some noise. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Press stop when you're finished, and then you can see the stereo recording. And as this is a microphone that's picking up more from the front than at the back, you can see this channel has got more sound captured, and this is more of a reflected sound. And what we're looking for is at any point where the lines are too great, so the sound is clipped. In actual fact, I could probably turn the recording volume up a little bit, so I'm going to put it up to just above 2/3 of the way, and I'm going to record another test. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. And what you heard there is I hadn't muted the original track, so I shall just do that, and I'll do that one more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Now I quite deliberately got louder and louder there, and you may have seen up here it just tipped into the red, and it means that this last one, which was very loud indeed, may be slightly clipped. That is to say, the top of the waveform and the bottom of the waveform may have been missed because it was too loud. At that point, you'll get a buzz on the track, and it will render it pretty much unusable. So it's worth spending a bit of time getting your levels just right, and making sure that you're happy with the levels before you sit down to record an actual take. Now, once you have recorded your take, you can of course discard any tests. If you accidentally delete something, go up to undo, and it'll restore it for you, and you can undo that as many times as you like. But once you're happy with your take, before we export it and send it off to be mixed, we need to do a couple of things. So if you could all please click then on the little down arrow next to audio track and name the track. And what we're going to ask you to do is to give it your name, to put your instrument in, and then the name of the track. And if there are any, if you've recorded more than one take, then you could put the number of the take in it as well, so it's all really clear as to what you've recorded. Then you need to go back to this little drop down arrow and just check that you've got waveform selected. If you haven't, please select it. Then go down to format, and this is really important. Everybody please record in 16-bit PCM. That's to make sure that we're all recording at the same level there. And just check then one more time down here right at the bottom that the rate is set to 44,100 Hertz. So that is, you name it, waveform selected, format 16-bit PCM, rate 44,100 Hertz. And you need to do that for each track, for each take that you do, to make sure that it matches with everybody else. When you've done that, it's worth listening back to it to check that you're happy with it, and then you need to export it. So in order to do that, we go up to File, Export Audio, and then it's worth creating a folder wherever it is that you're saving the tracks. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to select my desktop, a new folder, and I'm going to call this Recordings, and then give it that same name. So your name, your instrument, and any takes that you've done. Select down here, select Microsoft 16-bit PCM WAV file, and then click Save. Now this metadata will come up. Don't worry about this, just click OK. And what that will do is to create a take in that folder, which is a WAV file. Now these files will get quite large, and so make sure that as soon as you've done them, you upload them to the Google Drive folder that we'll share with you, and so they don't take up a huge amount of space on your machine. When you're done, it's worth saving the project. And remember, this is not creating an audio file, this is saving the project in case you need to go back to it, in case there's a problem with the export. So save it as whatever it is you want to call it, and then you can move on to the next track. Now, when it comes time to record the video element of your performance, there are a couple of options. The first and perhaps most obvious one is to simply set up another device to record yourself, to video you, whilst you are recording the audio track into Audacity. Now, that might on the surface seem to be the easiest way to handle it, but I've found when recording that this adds an added element of pressure, and you find that if you make any errors in the audio recording, you have to go back and start the whole process again, and this can lead to frustration and a lot of wasted time. The method that a lot of YouTubers use, and I urge you to have a look at the music videos of the wonderful Jacob Collier, who makes a lot of these videos, is to record the audio in first and ensure that you have a fantastic recording, and this might take several takes, and do send multiple takes and let us know which parts you want us to cut together if you want us to do that, but make sure that you get the best audio recording you can, and then you simply use the method that we used yesterday. You set up your phone camera, you then play back your recording that you've just taken, and you mime along, you play, you sing along to that recording. You then send us both the audio track and the video track separately. We will remove any audio on the video and marry the two together. Now, this method is obviously very unusual. This is not the kind of thing that people would normally do, but this is a common technique for YouTubers in order to get the most accomplished performance whilst also videoing yourself with fairly limited equipment. It will take a bit of practice, but it is worth persevering with, as I think it will save you a lot of frustration and a lot of wasted time in the long run. And finally, when it comes to these video performances, do bear in mind the advice I gave you yesterday. Make sure that you're lit as well as possible, ideally from the front, from the side, and a light behind you if you can manage it. Make sure that you're framed properly in the camera so that you are showing your face and your instrument if you have one. Try and avoid lots of empty space above and to the sides of you, because your performance is going to be squashed down onto the screen and combined with others. You want people to be able to see your face, to be able to see your instrument. If possible, make eye contact with the lens of the camera as much as possible, as that will increase the amount of engagement and warmth people feel from your performance. And above all, enjoy the process. This is not something that most of us are familiar with. I've only been doing stuff like this for 6 weeks, and I found it to be a fascinating and very worthwhile endeavour. So I do hope you enjoy the process. Thanks very much indeed for your time today. Best of luck with it all, and take care.